Hello everyone, and welcome to my Cataclysm Warrior Guide. In this guide, I'll cover these 5 topics, including what consumables and gems I will also prioritize getting at level 85. What makes the warrior a lot stronger in Cataclysm is your Victory Rush ability that you gain at level 5. Whenever you kill a target, you can instantly use this on another target to heal yourself for 20% health and also deal a high amount of damage. So it makes the warrior leveling a lot better, but also when you're farming at max level. In a moment, I'll cover the different talent trees I'll be using for each individual specialization. But first I would like to highlight this amazing Cataclysm leveling guide. In fact, it will even work in the pre-patch and get you to max level as quickly as possible. Make sure to use the link below this video to try out the free version, or you can purchase the full version that will work all the way up to max level. Just remember to apply my discount code GuideMMO. So anyway, onto the talent trees. And I will also be covering the different glyphs I will be using and at what level I pick each individual talent. Starting with Arms Warrior, I like this specialization a lot when I'm leveling up, but also at max level. You have the opportunity to do a lot of damage, not only to one target, no, to many targets at the same time, with a Whirlwind, Blade Storm, Sweeping Strikes, and of course, Cleave. Being able to kill many targets at the same time is what makes this so strong, and because we also have Victory Rush now, well then whenever you kill a target, you can heal yourself instantly for 20% health. My talent tree looks like this. This is of course as a level 85 warrior. For those of you leveling up right now, well here you can see in which order I choose each individual talent, starting from the left, going down and then moving on. And here's my prime, major and minor glyphs. So what about leveling and playing as a fairy warrior? Well, I don't prefer to do it. Yeah, it can be nice to level with 2 two-handing weapons, but then again, you're also missing quite a few of your attacks, especially in the beginning when you have next to no hit rating. You also gotta remember that in the beginning, you won't even be able to equip 2 two-handing weapons, as this is a talent at the bottom of the fairy tree. However, once you get to around level 80, you will have a lot more hit and expertise, and then fairy might all of a sudden also become viable for leveling. At least this is how my fairy tree will look like at level 85. And as I'm leveling up, I'll be picking the talents in this order. Last but not least, these will be the 9 different glyphs I'll be picking. Leveling as a protection warrior was so fast in Wrath of the Lich King. In Cataclysm, it will still stay this way. If not, it's getting faster. You can for example choose this talent, Blood and Thunder. So if you apply a rend to one target and you use your Thunderclap, then it will apply the rend to all nearby targets. Therefore, your AoE damage will be increased compared to Wrath of the Lich King, and you still have your Shockwave, Revenge, and of course, your Thunderclap. In my opinion, leveling as a protection warrior has to be the funniest and also the quickest way to level up. Even if your character hasn't got amazing gear, you can start pulling 5 or 10 enemies quite early on, and by the time you have killed those, a Fairy or Arms Warrior will most likely only have killed 2 or 3 enemies. Therefore, your leveling speed will also be quicker. So there's 3 different builds I like to use as a protection warrior. The first one here will mainly be focusing on just questing in the open world and not doing many dungeons. The next one is if you plan to level up and do dungeons at the same time. And last but not least, when you're at max level, you could be using this one for the maximum amount of threat, so a single target tank build. But when I level a protection warrior, I'll mainly be choosing these talents in this order. And no matter what build I'm following, then I'll always be using these 9 glyphs. They're simply just amazing for doing more damage, but also improving your threat. As a warrior, you will get a lot of new abilities no matter what specialization you choose, and those I've decided to cover in the guide. An amazing ability is going to be Colossal Smash, where you will bypass 100% of the target's armor for 6 seconds. So before you use it, I would highly recommend you to also get as much rage, so you're ready to pump the damage. Your movement is going to be better with Heroic Leap. Here you will leap forward and do a bit of AoE damage to all enemies within 8 yards. So if you have cooldown on your charge or intercept, well then this will also be amazing. You can also use it to leap out of any AoE damage from a raid encounter. Or maybe even prevent a death if you accidentally dismount and you need to prevent fall damage. You can no longer spam your Cleave or Heroic Strike. These will have a 3 seconds cooldown, but with the new ability Inner Rage, you can reduce the cooldown by 50% for 15 seconds, so making the cooldown 1.5 seconds. What you should also be aware of is that these no longer adds a global cooldown to your other abilities, so you could for example add in your Heroic Strike to your Overpower or Mortal Strike ability and use them at the exact same time. You also get an amazing assist with Rallying Cry. This will increase all party and raid members' health by 20% for 10 seconds. Amazing if there's about to be a lot of AoE damage taken by all the different raid members. I also like to use this when I'm tanking, then I activate my last stand together with this ability, and then use yet another thing we will be getting. Enrage Regeneration. This will regen 30% of your total health over 10 seconds, so you can imagine how much you will be healing for if you're using different cooldowns to increase your maximum health and then using this ability. Just remember, it also requires you to be enraged, so make sure your Berserker Rage is off cooldown. Your Blood Rage has been removed from the game, so you can no longer press on this to get a bit of rage. Instead, your different shouts will grant you rage, for example your Commanding Shout or Battle Shout. So you could be using these in between different enemies simply to make sure you have a bit of rage before you go into a new fight. Or use them during a fight to increase your rage, so you're also ready to do as much damage as possible with your execute. Next up is the different stats you should prioritize getting at level 85, starting with Fury and Arms. You should prioritize getting 8% hit and 26 expertise. It doesn't matter how much mastery or crit you have if you're not hit capped or expertise capped, simply because you will end up missing way too many attacks and then your DPS will also be very low. So fix your 8% hit and 26 expertise, and then you can focus on strength, crit and mastery. As protection, it's going to be a bit different. Here you would like to prioritize getting as much stamina, so health, as possible, followed by mastery, parry, and then dodge. Next up will be the different gems I'll be using either as DPS and tank. When I play Fury and Arms, I prefer to use this meta as it increases my strength but also critical strike damage. Because I reforge a lot of my gear into hit rating, then I can also focus on gems that will increase my damage. But usually I use the purple gem here as a blue socket simply to increase the hit rating and strength. When I play protection, I go with this meta gem as it increases my stamina and overall armor value. The good thing is that we no longer have to focus on defense rating. Instead you could go for mastery, stamina, parry, or maybe even dodge. But usually I try to skip dodge over parry. Now you might also be wondering about the different consumables I'll be using. As a DPS, Flask of the Titanic Strength, and as a tank, I'll be using Flask of Steel Skin. To increase my maximum amount of DPS, I'll pre-pot the Golden Blood Potion, and you can also use it during the fight. As a tank, I do however prefer the Earthen Potion as it increases my armor for 25 seconds. Just remember, the Golden Blood Potion can still be useful as a tank as it increases your strength and therefore also your threat generation. The food buff I like to use is going to be this one when I play DPS. As a tank, you could go for something that increases your mastery or maybe even avoidance. So I hope you enjoyed this warrior guide. If you would like to see videos like this about the other classes, then make sure to check out my channel. On the channel, you can also find a lot of other Cataclysm videos and soon a lot more. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified the next time I post a video.